Looks like David Zaslav isn't done canceling stuff. The next to go is this Westworld series, which I actually watched the first season of this show when it first came out, and I thought it was good. And then as it kept going, it just got bad. The problem is they explored some really interesting concepts with that show, and instead of moving forward with that, they decided to focus on identity politics, and the show completely went off the rails. So the thing about this is they were originally going to end the series next season. So season 5 was going to be the last season, at least from what I've been reading. It was going to be the final season, and people are saying, oh, they're doing the creators dirty. Well, there's a lot of shows that don't get final seasons. Sorry. A lot of shows don't get it. Now, the unsurprising reason that I got canceled is, well, ratings. Viewership went from 12 million an episode to 4 million, which is pretty sad. This is what happens. This is why there's literally a meme called Get Woke, Go Broke, because once you decide to do this, everyone takes off. Nobody wants to see this. And I don't really get the pivot to stuff like this. You have something that people are enjoying as a show that universally was enjoyed by everybody, and then you decided to inject the woke sickness into it, and it tanked. It tanked gloriously. I mean, that is a hefty shrink in audience. From 12 to 4 million. It's bad. That's why it got canceled. That's why it's not getting another season. And yes, the actors are still being paid for season 5, but it's much cheaper to do that than make the show. So they're just writing it off. Zaslav taking the axe again to more stuff ruthlessly. Oh, you like that show? Bye. You can kind of see the story right here, by the way, over on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know some people complain about Rotten Tomatoes, but this is a really good example of what happened to the show. So season 1 right here, 93% audience score. Audiences loved it. This is really respectable audience score, 93%. We go to season 2, drops down to 76%. This is where I jumped off. I ditched the show here. 76%. Okay, it gets worse. We go to season 3. 62% for season 3. And then finally, we go to season 4, 54%. You can see that audiences were just done. This is what happens. You get woke, you go broke. It's just formula that's proven itself time and time again. Now, what I like about this is yet another JK Abrams property that's went right into the toilet. JK Abrams and his bad reboot and all of his little acolytes that run around Hollywood, it needs to be the norm because they're all untalented and they're all hacks. I don't know how these people keep getting work because it's the same story over and over again. This guy had a hit one time with Lost. And that show, I think, is a little overrated. But these people get attached to all these big franchises or even their original stuff. And what happens? I mean, look at Watchmen with that guy that's going to Star Wars, Lindelof. That show was a pile of shit, but like, oh, it's bad. It's a bad reboot protege. Let's bring him in. I mean, look what Abrams himself did to Star Wars. So this was an executive produced show by Abrams, canceled. Now, Zaslav didn't contract Abrams. I would imagine. I think Zaslav is a smart guy. He seems a lot smarter than most of the executives in Hollywood, and I think that he's looking at the garbage heap that Jar Jar sits on, and I think that he's wanting to get rid of him. I think that Abrams' contract is probably going to get bought out, This is why James Gunn, because remember, Abrams was originally going to kind of be the Kevin Feige of DC Comics. That's what it was looking like. They were going to give Bad Reboot, which is the joke name for Bad Robot, but I've just kind of keep calling them the Bad Reboot because that's what they are. They are a bad reboot. But remember, like, they were kind of being pushed up as the new kind of guys with the keys at DC Comics, and that's kind of went away. All those plans about JJ's woke Superman and all that, you don't hear anything about that anymore. All you're hearing about now is Henry Cavill coming back and changing it so that it's more about fun and trying to replicate the success that Marvel had when Marvel was great, which is all awesome stuff to hear. But man, I'd like to see more of this so we can get Jar Jar out of geekdom franchises because the guy is nothing but a cancer. Speaking of cancer, by the way, the Mary Sue is very upset that Zaslav wants to keep working with JK Rowling because he values profits and money and not what the Mary Sue thinks. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO wants more Harry Potter movies with JK Rowling because why wouldn't they? And this is going to be a hard one because she needs to say yes and be a part of it, but the guy who played Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, I think is his name, he has now thrown JK under the bus recently, which is funny because he owes all of his success to her. He would be a freaking nobody if it wasn't for this woman. Like, sometimes it's best to just not say anything if you're going to go that route, but he decided to come out. He wanted to throw his 2 cents out there because now he has this Weird Al Yankovic thing. He strikes me as somebody that's resentful for his success. One of those people, kind of like Harrison Ford in a lot of ways. He was very resentful of Star Wars. Daniel reminds me of him in the way about like him with how Harrison is about Han Solo. I feel like he feels the same way about Harry Potter. Except the difference is Harrison actually has huge roles other than Han Solo. Like, he still has Blade Runner. He still has Indiana Jones. Like, there were big things that he was a part of. All Daniel has is Harry Potter. But, yeah, Mary Sue getting upset about this. Like, this is the great thing about what's going on over at Warner is they don't seem to give too much of two shits about what Princess Weeks and the Mary Sue thinks about them wanting to make money off of Harry Potter again, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I mean, look how great all of the shill articles for CBR worked for Eternals. It's been over a year. Have perceptions of the Eternals changed? Like, they're still trying to damage control for this movie a year later. You get nothing from these outlets. Nothing trying to appease these people. You get nothing. This is what you get out of it. An article that nobody reads, that the only reason it exists is for me to make fun of it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and my locals. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.